Hello, fabulous Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of November 2015. General focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, we have two very important, if not more important, celestial events taking place. Now, one is going to speak directly to matters of heart. It's going to set off an important period of time where you really are learning about love in a whole new way. And I will talk about that more in the love-focused horoscopes. But where it comes to a general-focused horoscope, we've got a couple of interesting things happening here. One is, in the middle of the month, we've got a new moon happening. Now, this new moon is taking place in a part of the sky where Saturn was moving through up until very recently. So Saturn now is comfortably moving through the sign of Sagittarius, but for the longest time, since late 2012, and throughout the summer of this last year as well, of this year as well, moving through the sign of Scorpio. And this part of the sky for you has to do with siblings, cousins, and neighbors. So these types of relationships are really getting a lot of your energy, getting focus, and providing you with some very important lessons as well. One of the things with Saturn is it really has to do with knowing that you get as much as you give. Whatever you put in is as much as you will get out, that there is a balance that takes place. And it also asks you to work on your relationships. Make sure that they feel respectful, make sure that they feel that they are in a right place for whatever power dynamics may or may not be there. To make sure that these very relationships grow up in some way. So lots of powerful learning takes place in the context of these types of relationships as Saturn had moved through this part of your sky. Well, this is going to be one of those moments of reward. This is going to be one of the moments of clarity. And I'm actually seeing you very likely, very spontaneously, could be you run into, could be that you find yourself connecting with one of these types of people, right? Siblings, cousins, or neighbors. To understand or to strive to understand and to just spontaneously find yourself in some type of conversation that makes more clear to you what was and how is it now that you are going forward. So there's a sense of talking things out, and there's a sense of change and love and really knowing that things can progress in a way that ultimately works to everyone's advantage. And a sense of transformation as well. This is really feeling a turnaround take place where once something was difficult, now some of the wisdom starts to seep in. Now, because of what was, you know that you now can be different. You can respond differently, and that you've built a different kind of relationship, one that is stronger than it was before. So this month should help make a lot of that a lot more clear to you than it was otherwise. So this is that clarity, this is that glimpse into the gift that Saturn promises when he leaves one part of the sky. So this new moon will be very helpful to you in that regard. Fun times all around will be part of the deepening of those relationships, the deepening of a sense of compassion and a sense of connection as well. Also, this particular new moon is really good for, and this part of the sky also has to do with the right place at the right time. Really good for just being out and about in your neighborhood, being busy, connecting with other people. It is very strong for all of that to happen. As we move forward and we move towards the end of the month, we've got a full moon happening. Now, this full moon is happening in a part of the sky for you that is at the very top of your sky. So this has to do with, for some people, this will be career, right? This will be about promotions and advancements and how it is that you desire to get ahead, whatever ladder it is that you believe that you're climbing. That's going to come into focus. For others of you, it is going to be more personal, more related to what you understand as a sense of purpose or what you're going for in life, a sense of legacy, right? Like really shooting for the stars. What does that mean for you? What is that higher vision? What is it ultimately that you're hoping, and where it is and how it is that you ultimately are hoping to make your mark? So this can manifest in a couple of different ways. Now, for those of you who are going to experience this more practically, right, in the realm of your work, this particular full moon is having a whole bunch of interesting conversations with other power players in the sky. And it does suggest to me that you want to be, and I'm going to advise you, you might want to be a little bit mindful about how it is that you are relating to bosses, right? Authority figures, people who are in a position, maybe not necessarily just supervisory, but especially if you feel like this is a person who has a level of influence, who has the ability to in some way, like they can be one of those people who says, you get the promotion, right? That type of person. You want to be mindful of how it is that you are interacting and how it is that you might be coming across as well. The other thing that's really interesting with this energy is that where it comes to interview situations, things might not necessarily be as they appear, okay? And, you know, I've been advising other signs as well. For you, I'm going to say, if you are looking for a job, if you are, especially if you have interviews set up, especially as we get towards the end of the month, then my advice, my very heartfelt advice would be, maybe if you know that you've got some pictures online on Facebook, if you know that they could be seen in different ways, or, you know, it's just presenting an image, and maybe it's just an image, it's not even the reality. But if you know it's presenting an image of yourself that isn't in alignment with what it is that you're trying to convey in that interview setting, then this would be a good time to make those pictures private. So just make those pictures private for a little while, let that happen, so that if you are looking for work, and somebody decides to Google you, only good stuff comes up, right? I mean, look, at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do, and you also want to make sure that you are welcomed into a place that allows you to be true to you and true to yourself. But then there are times when images and videos can be out there that don't really represent us or can be interpreted in lots of different ways. So just be mindful of that from that perspective. Having said that, this can also go a different way as well, meaning that the job may appear to be something that it is not. So you want to be mindful of that also. I mean, you might be hired to be, you know, like they'll say you're a loyalty representative, and you'll be connecting with these customers and, you know, offering them wonderful things, and they'll be so happy, and then you get the job and you're so excited, and then you show up and it's a sales thing and you're trying to convince people to, like, you know, buy stuff from you and give you their credit card numbers. And so that is going to be an interesting sort of dichotomy playing out for you, like, okay, what is the reality versus what it is that is being presented to you, what it is that is being told to you, and especially where it comes to making moves on a level of career. For the others of you, this is going to manifest in ways that have to do with life purpose, that have to do with a higher sense of meaning and a clarity of direction as well. Now, I am very much of the belief that the questions are as important as the certainties. And in fact, questioning is healthy. Questioning is healthy of anything. Questioning faith is healthy. That's what you want to do. You want to be somebody who doesn't just believe something and then that's it and you're fervent about it, but someone who checks in with yourself, you know? Checks in when faith is waning, when faith is strong. But this comes to all kinds of information as well. It is healthy and normal for human beings to question everything. That is my personal belief. And so, if you find yourself questioning, am I on my life path? Am I doing what it is I'm supposed to be doing with my life? If you've been doing something for a while and right now are feeling a little disconnected from it at this particular full moon, it's okay to take a little break. It's okay to say, you know, I've been pushing and I've been pursuing this path for a real long time, but right now I just want to take a step back, maybe try something else. You know, if you've been a novelist all your life, that's what you've been doing for the last 30 years, but now all of a sudden you feel like, you know what, I think I just want to paint for a little while, even though you've never done that before. It's okay to allow yourself that permission. It's almost as if I see you having a sense of realignment and having some questions, and so you very much may need to take that little bit of a break. I would ask you to be mindful of, though, like if there's something, very in alignment with life purpose, something that you're really trying to make happen for yourself, and someone comes along and says, boy, do I have a dream come true for you. Just be mindful of that also, okay? Because things might not be necessarily as they appear. And if someone wants you today, they will likely want you a week later. They will likely want you 2 weeks later. And sometimes what you think is a sure thing and it's immediate and it's fast and it's going to be, can be still a wonderful affirmation and can be the sign that you need to know that you're on the right path, even if exactly that opportunity is or is not right for you in that exact moment. So allow people to show you things with a little more clarity. Allow people to, let things flesh out a little bit as it is that you are moving forward in your path towards living that sense of higher purpose that you have. What I love about this month for you is that there is that sense of connection, there is that sense of reunion, and there is these conversations that take place that end up being tremendously meaningful to you. And at the same time, there is an awareness on your part of what is smart and what might not be so smart. And when you exercise that judgment and when you ask yourself questions, in many ways, you are truly living up to the spirit of the very best of our capabilities, of our talents, of the gifts that we have as human beings.